We are going to continue the conversation from episode number 1 because guess what happened? Our camera died. Well, Terry was actually explaining why he prefers to use the terminology Neuro-Linguistic Psychology as opposed to Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Our camera died. For those of you who haven't seen episode number 1, we're going to put the link in the description so you can check out how we talk about hypnotherapy. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to the Stress Less, Live More podcast, episode number 3. I'm Zita Berta, and I'm here with Professor Dr. Terry McIvor.
Hello.
How are you today, Terry?
I'm great. It's
Fantastic.
great to be back and do another podcast with you, Zita.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here as well. And Terry, if I can ask you again to please clarify what NLP is and how NLP can help us to unlock the mind's potential for transformation.
Well, as I say in the last episode, it's an overview, so we'll be going to dive in deeper into all of these topics. So continuing on from episode 1, in NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming is a terrible name. I like Neuro-Linguistic Psychology. The psychology behind NLP is excellent. However, the programming bit of the name can be quite nefarious in its way. People can say you're programming me or whatever. However, Neuro-Linguistic Psychology is an excellent psychology, and it cuts out all of the waffle from psychology and gets straight to the techniques and gets straight to the why we're doing things the way we do things. So NLP is really the study of excellence. That's how it was set up by Bandler and Grinder. They've studied people, Milton Erickson, people like that, and they studied the excellence, got a model for it, and then that model was put into a technique that we can use to basically better our own lives, but also help others if you're an NLP coach. NLP in traditional in the 70s and I suppose part of the 80s was that NLP was being just used by the practitioner on clients, but they weren't using it for themselves. So the new code came out. Grinder came out with a new code in the 80s, and that really is talking about fulfilling your own life before you help others. Because if you don't help yourself, how can you help others? And that's the big thing. And so you have to apply these principles to your own life, and then see the improvement, and then actually apply that improvement and apply that knowledge that you have from your own life and use those with other people.
Oh, it is so true. We have that in yoga as well. Before you can help basically other people to help them fulfill their lives, the same principle. You first have to work on yourself first. Yeah.
So the new code is more to do with the consciousness as opposed to technique type driven, and I think it's a better model. Although a lot of the techniques that were developed in the old style NLP, if you like, you want to call it that, do work. They do work and they do help people.
That's actually very interesting. I didn't know personally that it was based on excellence, studying excellence.
The study of excellence, yeah.
That's a very interesting fact, but thank you for sharing that. And if we're looking at techniques that our listeners can maybe start using today, or maybe a combination of NLP and hypnotherapy techniques that could be useful in order to start our transforming mind transformation, what would be your favorite?
Well, there's quite a lot of techniques in NLP, and one of my favorites to help yourself is modeling. If you know someone who maybe you're afraid of public speaking, maybe you don't have the confidence to do whatever you want to do, and it's holding you back, you can model someone who obviously has that skill and has that, has been successful, and you can then isolate whatever skill that you want to bring into your own life by modeling that person, and then basically emulating that Now, kids do this all the time with superheroes. When you're talking about, they get on a costume and they are Batman, they are Superman, they're not playing it, they jump off things. And if anybody has kids watching, they know this. They do it naturally. And then as they get older, our critical mind hits in and tells us that we can't be creative. School knocks creativity out of you because it's creativity is in a lot of schools it is not, if you're, I suppose, daydreaming, that's when you're most creative. That's when you're in the flow. That's when you're hitting the higher consciousness. That's when you're tapping in. People say, stop daydreaming. And in the old days, in my day, you got a slap across the head.
Yeah.
Can't do that now.
Yeah.
But that knocks people off, and as they get older, and we talked about the subroutine last time. We talked about when you're between 2 and 7, you are in theta stage, you are in hypnosis. Everything that you're told, everything that you experience, that you go through, is absorbed into your subconscious. And if that's negative, you're going to take that with you. Sometimes then the subconscious will look at that and try and protect you. So what worked for you when you were 8, 10, 12 will not work for you when you're 25.
Yeah.
So therefore you have to then look at that and see why you're acting in such a way that you are. And that's where coaching comes in, and that's how you get help through the coaching and through NLP and through hypnotherapy and all of these things are techniques, but really the change comes within you. The coach doesn't change you, you change yourself. He or she, the coach I'm talking about, guides you through it.
Yeah.
So back to your question. I digress. Back to your question. Modeling, taking a skill that you want and model that into your life. And if you want to mix it with hypnotherapy, there's a technique called deep trance identification, DTI.
Okay.
Now, deep trance identification, we talked about kids doing this earlier. You can have, you can go into basically a self-hypnotic state, or somebody can put you in hypnosis, but also there's waking hypnosis as well, where you can take on and anchor yourself to feel this skill being enveloped into you, and you're taking on you're not being that person, but you're taking on the skill of that person and you're living it and you're putting it to work. So deep trance identification is where you would go into maybe as I say, talk about self-hypnosis. So that's the way we were talking about self-help here. So self-hypnosis. So if you go into self-hypnosis, you would think about the person that you want to be emulate, or the skill that you want to emulate in that person. And then you would basically go into a trance. So I would take people through the SMART technique. So the SMART technique is where I spelled it out in an acronym called SMART, SMARTT, SMART with 2 T's. So therefore my clients can basically go through this process without remembering which step comes first or which step. It's a great teaching technique to use an acronym. So I use SMART. So it's seclusion, motivation, because you have to really have a motivation to actually change. You have accomplishment, so you have a quiet mind. Okay, you need a quiet mind. Mind can't be revving at 100 miles an hour and do this process. And this process takes practice as well. It doesn't just happen. You have to practice this daily. So we have seclusion, which is go into a room with no phones, nobody to distract you, and just go in and just relax, have a relaxing atmosphere, whatever that is for you. Motivation. Then we have accomplishment, which is quiet mind. And then we have R, which is the relaxation. So it's full body. You could look at full body relaxation. You could lie down on the sofa doing this, or you could lie in a bed and doing this. Okay? And then we have transformation, which is the first T, which is how you're changing through visualization, how you're changing, how you're incorporating that skill.
Okay.
And then we have termination, which is basically how how we get back out of it again. Now you could fall asleep, you could put on an alarm clock, you could agree with yourself, you could say a word that will take you out of it again. Hypnosis is natural, so you're not going to be locked in any way anyway. So that's the SMARTT, that's the acronym that you can use. But the deep trance identification is where you're visualizing, that's the transformation part, where you're visualizing, incorporating this technique. Now you can visualize yourself shaking hands with this person or hugging this person, and then taking that skill into you. And then future pace yourself. Look at yourself 6 months, a year, and see yourself. If it's public speaking, see yourself with the confidence and speaking fluently in front of a lot of people, in front of, and seeing how you feel at that moment, and take that feeling and use that feeling to motivate yourself forward.
That's
excellent. Develop that skill.
That's excellent. It sounds so exciting. I can already see myself.
Yes.
My future self. I wonder if I was doing modeling when I was a teen, because you know what I used to do? It's a bit crazy, but I was a rock chick.
Mm-hmm.
So my favorite band was Guns N' Roses, and then there were so many times when I was alone at home, and then what do? Well, you put the music on really loud. I put the video on, and if you know that Axl Rose used to run across the stage from one side to another and sing like nobody else does. I used to do the same, run from one side of the room to the other, and then imitating, I'm the singer.
Yes.
So was I doing modeling?
Kids do that naturally. Yeah, you were.
I was doing modeling.
Kids do that naturally, and then people say, "Oh, you look stupid," or "You look this," or "You look," and people then stop doing that.
Yeah.
But that's a type of modeling. And that's done naturally until life and people knock it out of you.
Yeah.
But you should incorporate that again and emulate. It's a great speaker on YouTube. Look at them, look at all their videos, see how they speak, see how they act, and basically then you can do the same.
So that is an excellent technique that you shared with us today, Terry, both of them, the modeling and the SMART technique. So you guys, you can start using these two techniques today.
And there will be a link to document in the
description below. Yes, there are lots of links, so you can always learn more about the courses or the services that we offer.
Also the SMART technique.
And then also the SMART technique, of course. So, well, thank you so much, Terry, for sharing all the fantastic techniques, and then all your insights and experiences that you accumulated. Thank you so much, guys, for watching.
And if you like the content, thumbs up, like, subscribe if you like the content, and ding that bell for all notifications.
Have a fantastic day. Bye.
Bye.